Hello, welcome to the photo story for the Lenticular Truss Historical Bridge Team. This project is funded by the Vermont Agency of Transportation.
Let's welcome the members of our team. Ryan Forbes is a civil engineering major who spends his free time on the lacrosse field. Elizabeth Richards is a civil engineering major who dreams of one day being a forensic engineer. Hanchi Z is a civil engineering major who once rode a bike for 3 hours in search of the perfect restaurant. Charles Zipprich is a civil engineering major who can always be found in the gym at 6 a.m. And as a team, we've been working on this project for the last 9 months.
Once upon a time, in a little town called Bethel, there was a lenticular wrought iron pin-connected pony truss. This lenticular truss was unfortunately removed from service when it was deemed structurally deficient. The bridge was then placed in a bridge graveyard, where it sat for many years, wasting away. One day, a plow accidentally hit this truss and vandalized many of the pieces. Some pieces were left bent, others had gone missing in the time since it was removed from Bethel. The bridge now lays in shambles in Vernon, Vermont at a company called Renaud Brothers.
Here the bridge sits with no one to care for it. That is until a group of young engineers accepted the challenge to bring this bridge back to life. These wishful engineers were hoping to successfully make real the dreams of Bob McCullough to once again see this bridge placed for use in Vermont. It was determined that the bridge would be placed on UVM's campus so visitors from all over could come see the history and engineering encompassed within it.
The truss are the most important piece of history, Bob advised the young engineers, but also very important are the connections. The engineers talked among themselves. We have to find a way to keep the U-boat on the bridge, but this was easier said than done. For some, the U-boats were missing, and others could not depend on for their strength. Still, the young engineers would not give up.
The young engineers first looked at completely rehabilitating the truss to its original form and original function. But this would require trusting that the material properties of the wrought iron have remained the same over time and after being bent. Because the bridge must be able to carry pedestrian loads, based on safety, alternative 1 cannot be used. The young engineers then considered completely redesigning a new bridge with all steel members that would look exactly the same as the original bridge, but this alternative would completely overlook the history of the bridge. Therefore, it would not meet the needs of the community partner and was not further considered. Finally, the young engineers thought, why not combine the existing bridge with a new structure that will ensure that the bridge has the necessary strength to carry pedestrian loads? This secondary structure would not aesthetically take away from the lenticular truss, but would provide much more strength than the trusses could. We must follow this idea, the young engineers decided.
This alternative would require the trusses to carry their own weight. Any pedestrian loading will be carried on the secondary structure. But what form will the secondary structure take? One of the engineers wondered. Shall we add beams below the structure for the entire existing bridge to rest on? This was decided against because adding large beams beneath the structure would take away from the aesthetic of the bridge as it existed originally. Well, what about increasing the size of the existing stringers to turn the deck into a standard beam bridge? Asked one of the engineers. Perfect, they all exclaimed together. Material testing will be performed in the future, after which it will be determined whether the trusses are capable of carrying their own weight. The young engineers suggest that the material testing be performed on a member of the top chord, a member of the bottom chord, and a bent member. If the strengths fall within a certain range, the truss should be able to hold its own weight. If the strengths are not enough, future engineers will use the reinforcing plan of the young engineers to strengthen the bridge.
The team decided to replace all the existing deck members, many of which were already missing. The new beams to support the bridge were sized using a pedestrian load of 90 pounds per square foot and a railing load of 60 pounds per foot, which is not pictured. The size is W21 by 48 members. There will be 4 beams. Attached to the beams are aesthetic cross beams. These beams carry no load, but they allow for the U-bolt connections to still exist. The connections themselves also do not carry any force.
The foundation will be spread footing. They will be 20 feet long by 18 feet wide and 5.5 feet deep. The bridge beam will be connected to the footing on bearing, and the end posts will rest directly on the footing.
This bridge placement on the UVM campus will be a testament to engineering and the importance of history. We would like to thank everyone who helped us on this project. Professor John Lenz, Carolyn Carlson and the Vermont Agency of Transportation, Bob McCullough and the UVM History Department, Alex Dunkley and the Renaud Brothers, Dr. Eric Hernandez, and Dr. Priyantha Vijay Singhe.